Yes, my birthday is officially August 4th, but I am Leo, and we tend to celebrate the whole month of August. And this is part of my birthday present is to do today's Stories for Children. And hey, I see Louis has joined us, and hello, Keith. And I know other folk will be joining us. Keith, would you mind being co-host? Because I don't know if I can. Right. So, oh, not Omar. Waleed, would you make Keith Rogers a co-host? Because I'm gonna be telling stories, and I may not see people trying to get in. All right. So it's my party. I can anyhow. I'm having a great time. Celebrations have already begun. My one of my oldest, Minty, took me to brunch and then treated me to a grocery run, and then got me back home in time for me to chill, put up groceries, and get ready. And then my nephew Avery took me out to dinner, and it was great. I was gone from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Wednesday, loving every minute of it. And now I'm here with you guys. I consider that a blessing. So let me tell you some stories I'm working on. And some of these will be the first time I've done them online. One story is called A Friend in Need. And this story is not, well, this story is an Indian tale, and also you can find the equivalent in various places in Africa. So this story is about a deer, a mouse, a crow, a tortoise, and you will pardon me if sometimes I say turtle. People use them interchangeably, but we really shouldn't. And also a hunter and a net. And I don't know if this is going to hold up, but this story took place a long time ago. I cut it short because I didn't know whether I was being cut out or not. Anyhow, so the deer, the mouse, the crow, the tortoise, they were BFFs. They were best friends forever. And although they were entirely different animals, they hung out together and had a good time. Well, one day the tortoise decided he was going to go for a walk. And his friend said, well, you ought to be careful now because there are humans around. And the tortoise said, oh, be careful. And the tortoise went for a walk. Now, tortoises don't move very fast. Well, this tortoise, he was going for a walk when he walked into the net of a hunter. Shoom! And it had him. Well, the crow happened to see him get caught in the net, and he flew back and he told the deer and the mouse about what had just happened. And the mouse said, I have an idea. And so he told the others, see if I tell you what he told the others, that'll tell the story. So what they did is they had the deer, they saw the hunter coming back toward the net and looking at the tortoise and thinking, I'm going to have tortoise stew tonight. And then he saw the deer run by and he went, whoa. And so he turned around to go find out what was going on with the deer. Because deers are faster than humans. And the deer just got barely out of sight. And then the deer appeared to drop dead. The crow was in on this, and the crow went down, sat on the deer's antlers, and pecked at the deer, but the deer did not move. And the hunter said, whoa, deer, that's a whole lot of eating. This is a rough translation. That's a whole lot of eating. He said, yeah, let me go get my net so I can drag this deer back to my home. Now, what he didn't know is that while he was looking at the deer, the mouse went back and chewed through the rope of the net and freed the tortoise. And the tortoise slowly made itself away from the net. And the hunter, when he got back, the tortoise was gone. Now he's upset. He says, that's all right, I got a deer to eat. And he ran back to where the deer was supposed to be laying dead. But the crow, caw-caw, caw-caw, told him that the hunter was coming, And so the deer got up, shoop, and ran away. The hunter saw there was no deer, and he realized he didn't have any tortoise, and his stomach grumbled. And he realized something in that moment. See, he had something to eat at first, but then he got greedy because he wanted the deer and the turtle. And the lesson of this story is, well, first of all, friends look after friends. And second of all, don't be greedy. Appreciate what you have. Asante. That's the first story. Okay. Oh, by the way, thank you, Louie. By the way, those listening directly on worldstorytellingcafe.com and other platforms, I celebrate my birthday all month long. Keep those birthday wishes, those meal invitations, those donations and gifts and whatever, keep them a-coming because we truly appreciate it. So I want to share with you another story which has Indian, the country, and African roots. And I will share that story with you just in a moment. But before I do that, I share another one that has Indian and African roots. One of my favorite stories, but I heard a slightly different version of it. And it's about the monkey and the crocodile. Now, in this version of the monkey and the crocodile, they named the crocodile Ugly Mug. Hey, that's what they named him. And the monkey is called Red Face. As I was sharing this story with some students at a summer camp, I was talking about the wife. They said, well, what's her name? I said, I don't have a name for her. And so they named her Pretty Mug. So we have Ugly Mug, Red Face, and Pretty Mug. All right? Let the story commence. Well, Ugly Mug used to climb ashore under a tree where Red Face the monkey lived. And Red Face the monkey looked down and they started talking about this and that and the other thing. And so Ugly Mug said, how is that fruit good? I see you eating it all the time. And Red Face said, sure. And he knocked down some fruit from his tree for Ugly Mug to eat. And the crocodile opened his mouth and chomped down and chomped down and chomped down. Oh, he loved that fruit. Oh, it was just so delicious. Well, he did this day in and day out. And then one day when he swam back to his home, his wife was, you're always talking to that monkey. You're always talking to that monkey. Why do you go see that monkey? Well, because he shares such delicious sweet fruit with me. I mean, it's so good. I should bring you back some. She said, oh, he eats delicious sweet fruit? That means he must be sweet and his heart must taste tasty. I want his heart for dinner. Oh, but I couldn't do that. He's one of my best friends, and he's always, I want his heart for dinner. Yeah, but he said, I want his heart for dinner. There's an old saying that says, happy wife, happy life. I don't always agree with that, but hey. Ugly Mug sighed, and he went and he swam back. And he swam, and he swam, and he swam until he got to the tree where Red Face the monkey was. And Red Face threw him down the fruit as he usually does. And after a while, Crocodile went, oh, you know, Red Face, the fruit you share with me is really sweet and really delicious. But did you know the fruit on the other side of the river is even more sweet? And Red Face said, no, I didn't know this. I couldn't know this. I'm a monkey. I can't swim. I've never been to the other side of the river. And so Ugly Mug said, well, get on my back and I will take you to the other side of the river for you to taste the exquisitely delicious sweet fruit. Now, they were supposed to be best friends. They're supposed to be BFFs, best friends forever. So Monkey climbed down from the tree, got on Crocodile's back, Ugly Mug, and Ugly Mug began to swim. and kept swimming. Shoo, 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 shoo. Monkey looked across at the trees on the other side of the river. He said, dude, that fruit doesn't look any sweeter. Are you sure? It doesn't look any. Ugly Mug didn't say anything. Shoo, shoo, shoo. And for those of you listening and can't see, that's my imitation of a crocodile swimming. They don't actually make that sound, but I needed the sound effect. And so after a while, Redface said, nah, I can't smell that fruit being any sweeter. Why do you have me out here? And why are we going deeper into the river, but not closer to the other side? Said Ugly Mug. Well, it's like this. I told my wife how you and I talk and share and all that, and how you keep feeding me sweet fruit. And my wife decided that she wanted your heart. And she wanted your heart to eat because she said it must be sweet and juicy because of all the fruit that we eat. Oh, man, your wife needs my heart? Yeah. And I'm sorry, you're my best friend. I really like you, but happy wife, happy life, and she won't. I've got to do it. He said, but I understand, but we have a slight problem. And the crocodile said, what's the problem? Well, my heart is so big, because monkeys have great big hearts. Oh, well, I don't carry that thing around with me. If you need my heart, you have to take me back to my tree. Oh man. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to take you back to your tree. You go get the heart, and you come back down and give it to me. And so they turned around, and they went swimming. Shoop, 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 shoop. They got back to the other side of the shore. The monkey jumped off the crocodile's back, ran up the tree, and the crocodile waited and waited and waited and waited. He waited so long, he turned gray. Hey, Redface. Hey, Ugly Mug. I'm waiting. Waiting for what? You promised me your heart. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Now, what I said was, my heart is so big. Hold on a moment. I'm getting interference. No. Sorry about that. I'm the emergency contact, so I can't turn my phone off. But anyhow, he said, no, what I said was, my heart was so big that I left it back up at my tree. And that if you wanted it, we had to come back to my tree. But Ugly Mug, you're a crocodile. You're supposed to be kind of smart. Everybody needs their heart, and it has to be inside their body for them to be alive. So my heart's in my body, and I'm not giving up my heart, because without my heart, I can't be alive. Not doing it. Ugly Mug was not happy. But Redface said, hold on a moment. My monkey friends are telling me something. Are you serious? Really? Oh, no, I got to tell him. Tell me what? Well, while you've been here trying to get my heart, another crocodile bigger than you has moved into your house. And he is trying to make your wife his. And if I were you, I'd go back and say, I'm not having that. What? And Ugly Mug turned around and went swimming. He was really. He got back to where Mrs. Crocodile was there. And sure enough, there was another crocodile in his house trying to sway his wife. There was a tremendous fight. It was horrible. But Ugly Mug won, tossed the other bigger crocodile out. And his wife was like, oh, you fight over me? Oh, you must really love me. You truly love me. You were fighting. Oh, he says, yes, you're my wife. I'm your husband, and that's the way it's going to be. And we're not getting that monkey's heart. Because if the monkey hadn't told me about this other crocodile being in my house, but we're not even going, you know what? You and I, we're going to be in this forever. And they tell me that Ugly Mug and Pretty Mug pretty much lived happily ever after. And as for Redface, he's still up in that tree, eating the sweetest fruits and occasionally listen to the cool, calm beat of his heart. Asante. Ah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I have a story. Well, I have a lot of stories, actually. I have a story that I found out, again, has both Indian and African. Sometimes you see me frown when I go African, and I do that because Africa is not a country, it's a continent. Africa has more countries than the United States of America has states. So I don't like to really broad brush things about just saying Africa, but in this case, I am going to broad brush because this story can be is peppered throughout the continent of Africa. But in essence, it's the same story. So there's some trees mentioned in this. I'm going to take some international license, and I'm going to name trees that may not be necessarily found in India or Africa, but it fits the story. And the name of the story is The Gone Forever Tree, 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 Tree. Now, in this story, there is a person on safari from the UK. Now, when I tell the story, he didn't have a name. As I was telling the story to some wee ones, they were like 3 to 5. They said he has to have a name. I said, well, in the stories I've done, he doesn't have a name. So they named him Bob. So I call him Bob. So Bob had saved up his money and decided he was going to go to Africa, and in some stories to India, but that he was going on safari because they have safaris in both countries. And so Bob was walking through the jungle. Bob did not have a gun. Bob did not have a rifle. Bob did not have a shield. Bob didn't even have a car to jump into. He was walking by foot through the jungle. Now, I don't know about you, but I do know about me. Not walking through an area where wild animals, well, they're only wild because they are. I'm not walking through an area where wild animals are all over the place without at least some protection. But Bob kept on a walking, and he was looking at the various trees and the various plants. And I mean, he's, just checking stuff out when all of a sudden he saw a lion running toward him. Shoo, 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 shoo. Again, that's not the sound that lions make, but I wanted the sound effect. And he saw the lion running toward him. Now, Bob is standing there watching this lion run toward him. Bob does not have a gun. Bob does not have a rifle. Bob does not have a truck or a car to get into. And he stands there looking at this majestic, beautiful beast running toward him. And just before the animal can jump on Bob, it stops. And he says, you got to help me. 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 And he says, what? He says, there are 3 hyenas after me, and they want to eat me. You got to hide me. Save me. Oh, save me, save me, save me, save me. He actually said it in a much deeper voice. But you know how it is sometimes when people get excited, their voices rise. So there was a great big tree behind Bob. So Bob told the lion, well, go hide behind the tree that's behind me. I got this. So the lion runs behind the tree and he's hiding like we do with little babies in their cribs. He's hiding. And finally, the three hyenas, they're running toward Bob. And Bob still doesn't have good sense to realize that he needs some type of protection. But now they run toward Bob and they stop and they go, have you seen a lion? We're chasing this lion because we're going to eat him. Have you seen the lion? And Bob looked to his left, looked to his right. He says, "No, I don't see a lion. What's he look like?" And the three hyenas looked at each other. What? You know, he looks like a cat, only much bigger and a whole bunch of hair around around his head. And I think they call it a mane. He says, oh, that's a lion. Well, he ran that way. And he pointed away from the tree, pointed away from himself, and just pointed a random distance. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that I'm sure. And so the hyenas turned around and zoom, zoom, zoom. They ran in the direction that Bob had pointed to go find the lion because they had planned to eat him. See, hyenas hunt in packs. And one hyena would never dare attack a lion on its own. But three or more, they get brave. So when the hyenas were out of sight, the lion stepped from around the tree and said, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. You saved my life. They were going to eat me, and you saved my life." Bob said, "Well, he said, but now I've got to eat you." Bob went, "What?" "Yeah, I'm hungry. I've been running from them so long. I don't have the strength to go hunting. I don't have the strength to fight off another animal. So I'm going to eat you." But I just saved your life. And I appreciate that. And that makes it a little sad, but I'm hungry and I need to eat. So you're here. And I know a human can't outfight a lion, so I got to eat you. I saved your life, and this is the way you're gonna repay me? Yeah, sorry about that, but I got to eat. Just then a hare. Now, some people call hares, rabbits, and bunnies the same animal. They're not. They're cousins, but not the same. But a hare suddenly appeared, and the hare looked at the lion and looked at the man, saw the distress in the man's face, saw the hunger in the lion's face, and said, what's going on? I just saved this lion's life from three hyenas, and now he says he's going to eat me. Lion, is that true? Well, yeah, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. But I don't mean any harm, but those hyenas chased me so long, I don't have the strength to run after another animal. I don't have the strength to fight for my lunch. I've got to eat him. He's here. Look at him. The human is here. But humans are full of all kinds of fillers and preservatives and chemicals and dyes. Yeah, I know, but junk food is better than no food. Well, if you're going to eat him, he should at least bring you back a branch from the Gone Forever tree. The Gone Forever tree? Yeah, everybody knows about the Gone Forever tree. And the lion didn't want to admit that he didn't know what a Gone Forever tree was. He said, yeah, I know about that. And so the hare looked at the human and said, you need to go find a Gone Forever tree branch and bring it back. So the human said, okay, because he didn't want to admit that he didn't know what a Gone Forever tree looked like either. So he took off and he was running and running and running until he was exhausted. And he looked to his left, he looked to his right, he looked all around it. He didn't know what a Gone Forever tree looked like. And here's where I take literary license. But he found a maple tree and he took off a branch and brought it back. The hare said, no, that is not a gone forever tree branch. That's not, no, you got to bring a gone forever tree branch. That won't do. And so the human took off again to go to the gone forever tree and bring back a branch from it. And he's running. This time he brings back an ash tree. That's not a gone forever tree branch. Human, think. Bring back a gone forever tree branch. A gone forever tree branch. And the human took off again, running. I'm getting tired of just talking about him running. And he ran and he ran and he ran and he ran. And he came back with a Moana branch. Now, I was telling this story to some little ones, the wee ones, and I was looking up the various trees that I wanted them to think about. And I said, Moana tree. And this is what the internet showed me. Now, she's from she's from the animation Moana, but she's not a tree. But that's what it showed me. All right. So he comes back with the Moana branch, and she says, human, listen to me. You have to get a branch from the gone forever tree or the don't come back here tree. And the hare shook his head and looked at the lion. He said, humans aren't like us. They don't listen. They don't follow direction. I tell you what, lion, I'm going to go with him to help him find a gone forever tree. So you just wait here, and we're going to find the gone forever tree. Okay, I'll just sit under this tree and I'll wait. And so the hare and the human took off to find the gone forever tree. And I'm told that lion is still waiting because that hare and that human, they were gone forever. I like that story. That's one of my favorite news stories. So let me check my list real quick because I'm trying to do stories that I don't usually do. And I had a list, but of course, I've been looking at that list all week long. And now that I'm actually doing stories for children, we can't find the list. But that's all right. We're going to do this. So let me see. Let me look. Dun, 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 dun. Da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun dun dun. And it's showing me everything but my list. That's the way it goes. There's a song about that, isn't it? That's the way it goes. Oh well, okay. So I tell you guys another new story. Well, new for me. These stories are old. These stories are older than Keith and me and all of our gray hairs put together. Stories older than that. And Keith, people sometimes tell me I'm 73 years young, and I correct them and I say, no, I am 73 years old. I love being older because it beats the alternative. So I have claimed and worked and earned each of these years, and I'll officially be 73 on Monday. I'm claiming it now because I love growing older. I just want to do it with grace. I want to have good health and a good memory and be able to tell stories. So I am 73 years old, and let that echo throughout the land. Oh, I know the story, Tell. This is a story about a prince and a princess, and I believe her name was Laba. It changes depending on what region of India or what version from Africa you hear. But a long time ago, so long ago that our beloved Mr. Louis hadn't been born yet, so long ago, I love that, so long ago that Keith and I hadn't even been thought of yet. I mean, it was long time ago. So there was a prince. And so I'm going to be using Indian and African references in this story because I've seen components from both. Okay. So the Raja and the Rani had one son. How many sons? One. And it also happened to be their only child. So they spoiled him. I mean, if he wanted it, he got it. And soon he was old enough to go hunting. And they told him, you can hunt in that forest, you can hunt in that forest, and you can hunt in the forest over there. But you can't go to that fourth forest. Stay out of that fourth forest. Stay out of that jungle. And so, being the dutiful, even though he was spoiled son that he was, he said, okay. And so he went hunting. He hunted in forest number 1, jungle number 2, forest number 3, but he did not go into jungle number 4. And this went on for years. And then one day, it was really bothering him that he couldn't go into that fourth jungle. Why can't I go in that fourth jungle? So finally he said, Mother, Father, why can't I go into the fourth jungle? And the Raja and the Rani looked at each other. And finally his mother said, we don't want you to go in the fourth jungle. They say that there's a very beautiful princess there named Princess Laba. And if you go into the fourth jungle, you'll see her and you'll not want to come home again. And we can't bear to lose you. So stay out of the fourth jungle. And so I'm going to call him Raj. Raj tried to be a dutiful son. He went hunting in the first jungle, the second jungle, the third jungle, but always stopped short of going to the fourth jungle until he could stand it no more. He went home and he talked to his mother and his father. He said, Mother, Father, I have been an obedient son. You have raised me well, but I've got to go into that fourth jungle and just see how beautiful and intelligent and wonderful this Princess Laba is. I've got to do it. And my journey, I may not return. On my journey, I may meet her and want to get married, but I've got to do it. You've got to let me do it. You've got to, 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 you've got to. And so the Raja and the Rani, his wife, I guess you would call her a queen, they looked at each other and they sighed. And the father said, Son, you must do what you must do. And the mother spent the day making sweet cakes or sweetmeat. They were little treats for him to have. And she made a whole bunch of them. And she said, take these with you. And when you get hungry, eat these and think of me and think of your father, because we want you to come home. We want you to come back home. He said, I want to come back home too, but I must do this. And so his father gave him a mighty steed, gave him some arrows, bows and arrows, some spears, and a shield. And he took off. Now, I was going to try to do the sound of a horse galloping, but I heard what I sound like trying to do, the sound of a horse galloping. We're not doing that. I'm sparing you guys. I like you. So he rode his mighty steed, and he galloped and he galloped and he galloped, and he entered the fourth jungle. And as he was riding through the fourth jungle, he heard a whole bunch of birds. And he looked up, and there was all these beautiful, colorful birds filling up a tree. So he took out an arrow, put it in his bow, and he shot it. But just before the arrow could reach the birds, they all flew away. They just flew away, all except for one, and the arrow shot past him. And this was the Oba, the Raj of the birds. He said, why are you shooting at us? He said, well, you're birds. I was going to eat one of you. That's not very nice. We aren't shooting at you. Yeah, I know, but see, I'm a human and we eat birds and we eat other animals. Well, that's no way to make friends. But that's no way to make friends. Okay, I won't shoot any more bows and arrows, but tell me where I can find Princess Laba. Oh, no, we can't do that. Well, why not? Well, because uh, uh, well, we've heard of her, but we don't know where she lives. All I know is that she lives that way. And he pointed a wing in another direction. Oh, well, then I'll go that way. And so he rode and he rode and he rode. And then he got hungry. So he took out one of the sweetmeats, one of the sweet cakes that his mother had made. And just before he could eat it, he saw an ant. So he dropped it on the ground. He took out another one. There was an ant. He dropped it. All the sweet cakes, all the treats his mother had made had at least one ant in it. And so he put them on the ground. He said, ants, little ones you eat, you be happy. And so the Raj, the Oba of the ants, said, this is a very nice thing you've done for us. If you need our help, think of me and we will appear. And with that, the prince and the ants separated. And he rode and he rode and he rode and he rode until he came across a tiger. Now, that's the Indian part of the story, because tigers are not native to any of the African countries. But we're going to stick with tiger. So the tiger was howling and making such an awful noise. And Raj noticed there's a great big thorn sticking out of the tiger's paw. And he wasn't sure, but if he could, he approached the tiger very cautiously and said, oh, mighty tiger, what seems to be your problem? I have a thorn that's been in my paw for years, and it hurts, and my paw is it's swollen. I can't even hunt. Ah! Well, I will take the thorn out of your paw if you promise not to eat me. Yeah, I promise, I promise. I give you my word as a tiger. I will not eat you, but this thing hurts. And so the prince took out his knife and very slowly cut the thorn out of the tiger's paw. But that was painful, and the tiger roared louder than he ever roared before. And they heard the sound of something fast approaching him. And the tiger said, hide behind that tree. That's my wife. And I don't want her to see you because she will eat you. And so he hid behind the tree. And the tigress came up and said, my husband, I heard you scream, and I smell a human. What did the human do to you? I will make him pay. Or her. No, actually, the human did a good thing. It took, that thorn I've had in my paw for years, and I couldn't go hunting. He took it out. And I feel better now. So please don't eat him. Well, if he helped my husband, I promise not to eat him. And so the tiger told Raj, you can come out now. And Raj did. And Raj washed the paw and administered herbs to the paw and wrapped the paw. He stayed with the tigers for 3 days and 3 nights. And finally, he said, I've got to be going. But the paw had stopped, the swelling had gone down, it felt good again. The tiger felt like he could go hunting again. And he said, if you ever need us, think about me and we will appear to help you. And so he went on. After a while, he came across 1, 2, 3, 4 monks, 4 holy men. And they were arguing because their teacher, their master had died, and he left them a bed that when you sat on it and you told it where you wanted to go, it would take you there. They had a box that when you opened it, whatever you wished for would manifest, and a rope and a spear or stick that if anyone attacked you, the stick and the stick would beat them senselessly and the rope would tie them up. He listened to them. He said, well, I'm going to shoot 4 arrows in the air. The first person to get to the first arrow gets their first pick. The second one gets his pick. The third one gets his pick. And the fourth one, well, you get what's left over. So, oh, by the way, do you guys know where Princess Laba lives? Nah, we can't help you there. We don't know. We've heard of her. She's very beautiful, but we've never been to her kingdom. And so he shot the arrows in the air, and they ran, and they came back. When he shot the fourth arrow in the air, while they were gone, he sat on the bed and said, "Take me to Princess Laba." And so the bed raised itself in the air, shot through the air, went all the way to her kingdom, but stopped just before getting to her castle. And it was getting late. So the young prince knocked on the door. That doesn't work. He knocked on the door, and an old lady opened the door, and he said, "Auntie, I've traveled far, and I need a place to stay for the night." "Oh, no, 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 no. You can't stay here. The king has forbidden for any foreigners to stay in the homes of any of us. And if they find out that you're here, they will kill you and put me in jail." "Oh, Auntie, it's late at night. I can't stay out here for the animals to eat me. I promise I'll be gone first thing in the morning." "Well, okay, but you got to be gone in the morning because no one can know you're here." So he went inside and they talked about this and that and the other thing. And so finally she said, "Well, let me fix dinner." He said, "No, no, 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 I got this. I got this." And he opened the box and he said what he wanted, and dinner for two appeared. Oh, he also had a bowl. And whenever you had the bowl in your hand, all you had to do was say, "Bowl, give me water." And water would fill up the bowl and keep on rushing out until you said, "Bowl, stop." So they ate a great dinner. And she said, "Well, let me go get water." He said, "No, let me do this for you. Bowl, make water." And so the bowl filled up with water, and he held the bowl over so it would go into several big containers she had until they were all full of water, and they drank their fill. Bowl, stop, water. And she went to sleep because it was late. He said, "Well, let me light a candle." "Oh, no, 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 you can't do that. You can't do that. The king is forbidden for there to be any lights at night. You see, his daughter comes out on her balcony at night, and she is so wonderful, so beautiful, so wholesome that she glows, and her glow lights up the kingdom at night until she goes to bed." Oh, and night fell. The princess came out on the balcony, and true enough, she started glowing. And the glow filled up everything. I mean, it was a wonderful glow. And the glow came into the homes, and oh, that was pretty nice. So the prince went to sleep. Then he woke up in the middle of the night after the princess had gone back in, because when she went back in, the glow went away. He said, "Bed, take me to Princess Laba." And the bed took him to the balcony. And he slipped inside, and he left her a gift. Then he got back on the bed and said, "Bed, take me back to the old woman's house." And he did. The next morning, the old woman said, "Well, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go." He said, "Auntie, I don't feel too well. Please just let me stay another day. I don't feel well. But the king, Auntie, please, I promise the king will not find out that I'm here, but I don't feel well." She said, "Okay, you can stay one more day." And so that night, the princess came out on the balcony, and her spirit was so pure, she just started glowing. She lit up the village. People could see what they wanted to do, even when they were in their house. And, people did what they wanted to do. So finally, around midnight, she went back inside. She went to sleep, and when she went inside, the glow disappeared. The prince got back on the bed and said, "Take me to Princess Laba." And it took him to the balcony. And he went inside, and he left her another gift. Then got back on the bed and said, "Take me to the old lady's house." And that it did. That morning, the old lady said, "You've got to go. You really got to go. I don't want to be in jail, and I know you don't want to be killed." He said, "Auntie, I'm feeling better, but just one more night, please, please." "Okay, but this is the last night. You've got to go in the morning." And so when it got to be nightfall, Princess Laba came out on her balcony. Her glow filled the village, filled the people's houses with a nice soft light. And then at midnight, she went back to bed, and the glow disappeared. "Bed, take me to Princess Laba." And the bed took him to the balcony. And he stood outside the balcony and whispered, "Princess, "Princess, it is I, Prince Raj." She woke up and said, "Prince Raj, what are you doing on my balcony?" "I am the one that left you the gifts these last few nights." "You left me these gifts?" "Yes." "Well, you seem like a nice person, and these are wonderful gifts. And it's a little bit creepy that you're on my balcony and watch me while I sleep, but you know what? I feel in my heart that you are a good person. In fact, I want you to be my husband." "Well, okay. I will tell my father in the morning. You come here in the morning, I will tell my father. But I must warn you, my father makes it difficult for anyone to get close to me. I will be here in the morning." He got on the bed and he said, "Bed, take me to the old woman's." The next morning he packed up, said, "Bed, take me to the palace." They went to the palace. Lapa was down. Princess Lapa said, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, this is the one I was telling you about, the one that left me the wonderful gifts. I want him to be my husband." "Well, if he can pass my test, he can be your husband. But if he fails, off with his head." Well, that didn't sound too good. He said, "The first task," he clapped his hands and servants came in, and they came in with tons of sesame seeds. He said, "Crush these sesame seeds into oil by morning, and I will consider letting you marry my daughter." And so he looked at all these sesame seeds. He said, "Okay, I'll do it." He didn't know how he was going to do it, but he sat there. He didn't want to die. He wanted to marry the princess. And then he thought about the ants. And all of a sudden, all these ants appeared. And he told them what was going on. He said, "That we got it. We're going to crush and chew up all these seeds. And these jugs will be filled with sesame seed oil in the morning." And so he went to sleep. And in the morning when he got up, the ants were gone, but all the jugs were filled with sesame seed oil. The king was not happy. "Well, that's nice, but I have two ogres locked up in the dungeon in the bottom of my palace. If you kill them, you can marry my daughter." He's like, "Ogres?" "Yes, they're locked in the dungeon because I dare not let them out for fear they'll eat the people in my village." And so he's thinking about how's he going to kill ogres? There are two of them. And he doesn't know what he's going to do. And then he thought about the tigers, and the tigers appeared. And so he opened up the box and he pulled out a silk robe and a gold robe, a silver robe and a golden robe, and he dressed the tigers up and he told them the situation. They said, "We got this." So he went to the king. He says, "Can I have someone fight in my place?" The king says, "As long as the ogres are dead, yes." So the ogres and the tigers, they went at it. I mean, it was a terrible fight. That's not what tigers do, but there was a terrible fight. And they fought and they fought and fought. And finally, the tigers subdued and destroyed the ogres. Well, the king was impressed. He said, well, all righty, you can marry my daughter. And so Prince Raj and Princess Laba, they got married and they were happy. But after a while, the prince said, "Almighty King, I really appreciate you, giving me my own small palace to live with my wife, your daughter. But I really need to go home and see my parents. And when I go home, I want to take my wife with me. But we will come back." And the king thought about it, and he thought about how the prince had saved his village from the ogres, and how the prince had made all the sesame seed oil that he didn't know what he was going to do with. He said, "Okay." And so that night, the princess and the prince sat on the bed, and he said, "Bed, take me to my parents." And the bed flew through the night air until it reached his parents. When it reached his parents, it was late at night, but they heard their son's voice. They woke up, they ran down to the great hall, they received him, and they were happy, and they were really smitten by Princess Laba. And so they stayed with his mother and father, but every now and then they would get on the bed and say, "Bed, take us to Princess Laba's father." And they went back and forth that way, and so that they could spend time with both of their families. And I'm told something. Well, first of all, he was very fortunate. He never had to use the rope and stick, the rope to beat his enemies into submission. I'm sorry, the stick to beat his enemies in submission, and the rope to tie them up. But I am told that he did use the cup to make sure that the village always had water. And he did use the box, and some stories as a bag, to make sure that whatever his family or the village people needed, they had it. And I heard something else. I heard that they pretty much lived happily ever after. Oops, I stepped on a pin, the pin bit, and that's the way those stories went. Asante.
Thank you very much, Babazi. Great storytelling as ever. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant stories and brilliantly told. Thanks very much.
Thank you. I just want to ask Louis, did you like the stories? All right.
He's
Yeah.
the judge. Louis is the judge.
Yes, he is. He's the judge, he's the president, he's the king, he's cute, he's just wonderful. So I don't know what's coming up.
Me.
You do, great.
Me next week.
Oh, great. Oh, that's going to be a doubly treat. You know, and I'm considering that another part of my birthday celebration.
Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah.
So I've been having a great time. Today is Friday. Wednesday, one of my oldest mentee took me out for brunch and on a grocery shopping spree, and he gave me a special gift. He gave me a special handcrafted adult beverage.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes, and it's made with lemons and vodka, but the lemons that it was made from are only grown in South Africa. And there's a small family farm that grows them. And these lemons they export to the United States, but they only export a certain amount. And when they've reached that limit, no more. Well, he happens to be friends with the family, and they gave him some lemons, and he made a handcrafted adult beverage that he shared with me. And I must say it was delicious, but it was for adults. But so we spent brunch at one of my favorite restaurants. And then he took me, he says, how are you doing for food, for groceries? I said, I'd never turn down food. He says, well, let's go shop for groceries. And he said, get what you need or get what you want. And we went shopping at a place called Mom's. It's an organic market. And so we did that. Then he brought me home. I got a chance to chill, put up groceries. And then around 6 o'clock, my nephew Avery rolled up. And then we went out for dinner again to one of my favorite restaurants. One of my favorite restaurants is called Busboys and Poets, and it's named in honor of Langston Hughes. Well, they started out with one site, but they now have 5 or 6 around the DMV, around the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia area. And so we went to different ones. But for dinner, I went to my favorite one, which is the original one that's not too far from where I live. Anyhow, had a great night, gone from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And when I got in, I must say that I was quite happy.
Oh,
Take it any way you want, but it was great. And I'm still celebrating. Tomorrow, we will be at a place called Sankofa Cafe for Watermelon Day, or as I call it, Watermelon Day and Baba C's 73rd birthday celebration. And we're doing that from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. All the free watermelon you can eat and different types of entertainment, from kids shows to puppet shows to spoken word to a band to a DJ, and the Guinness World Record holder, Baba C, telling a tale or 2 or 3 himself. So
brilliant. Yeah.
Right. So I got to make sure I tune in next week for you. And if I don't, it's because I'm out celebrating my birthday. But
why not? Yeah.
You know. All right.
Right. I'll say goodbye now. Thank you very much for a great hour of stories. Bye, Louis.
Bye-bye, Keith.
Bye, Louis. I'm so glad you made it, Louis. Glad you made it too, Keith. Thank you, Louis. Keep being Louis. All right. Keep being the wonderful person you are.
I will. Are you there next week?
All right. Am I going to be here next week?
Yeah.
I plan to, because Keith is going to be telling stories and I want to hear Keith. I plan to be here next week. Unless,
not.
yeah, I know you told us that you would be here for this week, but you wouldn't be here the week after. Where are you going to be?
I'll be handle.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's men cab TMT week. So
Ah,
and I'm leaving tomorrow.
okay. Oh, wow. Well, I'm gonna put my on Facebook. Let me do this real quick before they disconnect us.
Yeah, of course.
I'm putting my name on Facebook. You can find me under this name. I just sent it to you. I'm also under
Right.
Facebook, Fabbook, Face, and I think it's the Griot Travels.
If we are travels,
But the first one is the best one to reach me at.
all right.
So let me hear from, because I know you're on Facebook, and I know you guys have given me the
I think I'm not, but my mum is.
right.
We'll do it for you.
So please make sure she gives me a shout out so I can share stuff with you. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I will.
All right. So I guess we got to wrap this up. So who's Waleed? Thank you very much for flying the
Thank
magic.
you, Waleed.
Yes. And I know that you're waiting for me to say it. Waleed, we really got to find another way to sign off. But see out.
Thanks, Joe. See you, Mum. See
See you.
you.
Oh, before I do that, now we can do that.